Breaking news today as Gamatsu is reporting Yosuke Matsuda as being out as Square Enix's CEO to be replaced by Takashi Kiryu effective this summer. Let's put the jokes about Matsuda's NFT obsession aside. As much of a big deal as has been made about it, it really hasn't amounted to much in terms of Square Enix's actual product, and ideally a desire by the board to keep it that way was the purpose of this change. Otherwise, the implications are disturbing because Matsuda's tenure as CEO was about so much more than that. When Matsuda took the helm at Square Enix, the company had been solidly positioned by then outgoing CEO Yoichi Wada as the Japanese version of EA. It had moved largely away from classical JRPGs and had made a host of Western acquisitions to bring IPs like Tomb Raider and Hitman into their catalog, while the RPG output it did have, like Infinite Undiscovery, Last Remnant, and Drakengard, were hardly in line with the foundational franchises that made Square Enix so iconic in the JRPG space. That's why it was such welcome news when Matsuda came in and immediately made plans to rectify that. An immediate statement about moving hard into that direction was followed up on by the establishment of Tokyo RPG Factory and the rise of Tomoya Asano's studio. In fact, it was one of Asano's games, Bravely Default, that Matsuda took as a wake-up call for Square Enix to get back into the classical JRPG business. You see, the company at the time dismissed the broader global appeal of these games and wasn't even planning to release Bravely Default in the West. Nintendo would then pick up the rights, the game sold magnificently, and Square Enix left a lot of money on the table that ultimately went to Nintendo for having bet so heavily on it. From there, Matsuda rebuilt Square Enix into the JRPG powerhouse it once was. Not only did this come from Asano Studio and Tokyo RPG Factory, but other efforts were made to get the company's back catalog released on modern platforms, from things like the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, Collection of Mana, and Collection of Saga, to even making the West whole on games it missed out on in the 1990s, such as Live Alive, Trials of Mana, and the Romancing Saga series. That's why it's not advisable to take the approach of, well, at least we're safe from the NFT storm when it comes to Matsuda's departure from Square Enix, because as encouraging as it might be from looking at Takashi Kiryu's resume that the status quo set by Matsuda's tenure will be upheld, there's also the looming possibility that his departure was precipitated from a desire by the board to return to the Yoichi Wada doctrine of a more Western approach and a laser-like focus on AAA development. That would be a heartbreaking turn of events after all of the progress we've seen Square Enix make in the last several years. I can only hope that Kiryu comes out fairly quickly with a similar mission statement as Matsuda made at the start of his run as CEO to put those concerns to rest. This is Square Enix's best form since I was a teenager, and I really hope that they keep that energy up as Kiryu steps in to write his own chapter in the company's history. That's all for now. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe as it really helps the channel out. Click the notification bell to know right away when the next video drops. I'm Patrick Mifflin, sounding off.